So congratulations, you've entered the world of remote cameras. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and unbox the camera and let's get started reviewing it. When you get it, you simply go ahead and open it. Included is going to be the camera, the HP5, one tree strap, and a really useful instruction manual. We're going to go through this as I show you all the settings on the camera, but make sure you save this and open it and use it. It has all the details you're going to need to reference what the camera settings are, and any questions you have are in here, most likely. So the first thing you're going to do when you get the camera is you're going to go ahead and open the flap, and you're going to see that there is an eject button, and you're going to go ahead and eject the battery compartment, and you're going to put in 8 AA batteries. We really like to use rechargeable batteries because that is just better for the environment and it's a lot cheaper for us as well. Right now we're using the Power Owl batteries. These are, you can get these in Amazon. And really any rechargeable AA battery will work. Just make sure that it has it's a 1.2 volts and it's 2800 milliamps. That gives you the power to really have the camera out there for weeks and even sometimes for months. So you're going to load the 8 batteries into the tray. Make sure the positive is to the positive side, negative to the negative side. You have indications inside, but the negative always goes to the spring area. There you go. Once that's set, go ahead and insert it into the camera. And before you turn it on, you're going to also have to load an SD card. We use 64 gigabytes. You just have to make sure that their write speed is slower than about 90 megabits per second. You can also use 32 gigabytes and even 16 gigabytes. It just depends how much room you want to have. The card slot is right down here at the bottom. So you go ahead and insert that. You just push it in and it'll lock itself into place. So you turn the camera on, and what you're going to see on the screen right there is on the bottom left, you're going to have the percentage of battery that's available, the number of images or videos you can record, and a countdown of when the camera is going to start recording on its own. It also tells you what settings the camera is at. So right now it says trail cam, the resolution, etc. But we're going to change that. We're going to hit mode, the mode button, and now we're going to go into the camera setup. And we're just going to start going down the menu one at a time. The setup date and time, you're just going to click on there and you're going to set it to the right date. Today happens to be December 13th. So we're going to set that up in 2023. And it is about 4:20, so we're going to go ahead and set that up as well. And once you set this up, unless the batteries get and PM, so that is now set, and you can see if I go back to it, it's set. So what we have here is the mode button allows you to change modes in the camera, and then these are the arrow buttons up and down, and then the enter button, the enter key is there as well. So we're now going to go down to the operational mode that we want to set, hit the enter key, and we like to set the cameras to video. So we're going to head and change that to video. And the reason we like video is because it really gives you much more of a look into the life of these animals and how they behave. Photo quality we're not going to need because we're in video, but you could see that you can go from 4 megapixels, 8, 12, and all the way to ultra to 24 megapixels. Video length, you can go all the way from 5 seconds to 2 minutes. So 5 seconds, 10, 20, 1, 2 minutes. And we're just going to set it to 30 seconds for now. Video quality, you can set it to ultra or to high. We're going to set it to high. The difference in that, it's the same quality of video. The only difference is whether it's a 30 frames per second video or a 60 frames per second. And for what we're doing, we don't really need a 60. So we're going to leave it at high, and that'll actually give us double the amount of videos that we can record. Photo delay, we like to have this set to the smallest amount, which is 1 second. Multi-shot mode, we're going to leave it off because we're not shooting mode. We're not in the picture mode, we're in the video mode, so it's not relevant for us. HDR, we like on, and that means high dynamic range. It gives you a little bit better range when it's has a lot of shadows and bright areas. So we like to have that on. Temperature in units, of course, we're in Fahrenheit in the US. And camera name, you can go ahead and name it anything you want. We usually have a name of fStop something, but camera 1 or Mike's camera or whatever it is. Image strip is important for that to be on, and that gives you the little strip at the bottom that gives you the information when you're looking at the video afterwards. Motion test, we're just going to skip that for right now. You can read in the manual what that is all about. Motion detection, it's either going to be normal or long range. For your backyard, most probably it's going to be normal range, and that is, I believe, 60 feet, and long range would be 80 feet detection, so we don't need the 80 feet. Battery type, since we put in the rechargeable batteries, we're just going to go to NIMH, which is what these batteries are, and that's going to give us a correct indication of how charged they are. Trigger speed, we always like fast, get that as fast as possible. We want to skip default setting, we're going to skip the time lapse because we're not doing time lapse, and then we get to this delete all. And what we're going to do is hit enter, and we go to yes. Now you have to make sure that the card that's in there is not the card you just recorded a bunch of animals on. So, but we're going to hit yes, and what this is going to do is it's going to erase the card, but it's also going to set it for the camera. All right, so it's going to have all the settings and everything that the camera needs for the card to be able to work. Infrared flash power. So this depends how far away you are shooting, whether you're in economy, long range, or blur reduction. And you can read in the manual which one of those you would prefer. But we're going to leave it on long range for right now. Smart video infrared, we're not going to do that, but you can read that also in the manual. And we're just going to skip through these last settings and end up back at the setup date and time. So we've gone through all the menus. That's the whole camera setup menu right there. Obviously we skipped some, and that details also in the little manual that you get in the box. And then we go to, we could do playback, but there's nothing in there now. So then the only other option is home screen. You see if I skip down from home screen, I scroll back up to camera setup. So we're going to go to home screen, hit enter, and now it's ready. And now it's ready to start recording. You can see it's going to record in 23 seconds. You can see that it's changed. It's video mode, high resolution, 100% on the battery life. And we actually have 1,265 videos that you can shoot on this 64 gigabyte card. If we had a 32, it'd be half of that. And if we had a 16, it'd be half of that. So it just depends how many videos you need to shoot. So right there, it just cycled onto itself, and it's actually started to record. Of course, I have my finger over the camera, so it's not going to record anything. But I'm going to turn it off, give it a few seconds, and then turn it back on. And if we now go back to the playback, it's going to show the video. If I hit enter, it's going to start playing, and of course, it's the video of my thumb. So that is what the setup is and how the camera works. It's great to have this screen because it really allows you to see what your camera is seeing when you set it up, as well as anything that you have recorded when you go pick up the camera again. And before you set it up, and we'll create another video of how to do this in the field, but of course you're going to close the door, latch it, and there you go, it's ready to go. This right here is the infrared sensor of the camera. These are infrared lights that are underneath this little panel here, and that right there is the camera. This is a different sensor for setting the motion, etc. And that is the front of the camera. The back of the camera has the place where your strap will go through. If you're not using one of the metal boxes, it'll go right through here. And then if you're locking the camera, it'll go through this round part right here. It also has conveniently a really cool 1/4 inch female setting for a tripod or a stand, and we'll go through that when we're out in the field placing the camera and we create that video. And then over here you also have a aux power inlet if you're going to use one of the solar panels that we also sell on the website. And that is it, and the camera is now ready to get deployed and to get put out. So there you have it. That's a pretty simple setup, going through the menu and just how we set this camera up. You can set up differently. You can set up photos instead of videos, etc. And again, make sure that you keep this little manual. It has all the settings in there, and it describes in more detail what each of the settings are. Of course, you can always reach out to us at fstopfoundation.org through the contact page and ask us any questions, and we'll go ahead and help. Well, thanks again for the purchase. Put the camera in your backyard and make sure you contact us and send us those videos of how you're sharing your landscape with our wildlife. And remember, a lot more videos coming. Make sure you subscribe and check out the next video coming up in the series.